Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsani ila yawmiddin wa ba'd. Welcome to class number 3 of Tafsir of Surah al-Fatihah, where we're using the Tafsir al-Wasit, al-Qur'an al-Kareem, by Sheikh Tantawi, one of the scholars of Al-Azhar who passed away about 9 years ago. Tonight's class, we're not going to review, so for those who are here, you have to go back and look at your notes. And for those who will be watching online, just go back and review the videos. We put in the comment section what you will need to know for a quiz, inshallah. And as we mentioned, those who are not here physically, if you take the responsibility to watch the video online, you're also responsible for a person that was here. Last week, no one was here physically, so we just kind of recorded the class and uploaded. So we're just going to get right into the class. What's the name of this? Well, real quick, what's the name of this book again? Because we got some people here today, so I'm putting them on the spot. It's called Tafsir al-Wasit. What is the meaning of that? The Tafsir, what is al-Wasit? Means what? No, that's a class on Sunday. You're talking about shout out to Jamia. They're here mixing classes up, y'all, online. They don't know what titles is or nothing. It said the moderate tafsir. All right, so Sheikh Tantawi had 2 titles. What were they? Huh? He had 2 titles. This is real. I said I wasn't going to do a trivia, but he had 2 titles. This is from the first class we had. He had 2 distinct titles. It shows his level of knowledge. He was the Grand Mufti of what? He was the Grand Mufti al-Azhar, and he was also the Mufti of Egypt. All right, so he had those 2 titles, inshallah. I ain't going to put y'all on the spot no more because the world is watching. I'm going to let y'all live. All right, so today we left off in the last class. We were talking about isti'adha and the ta'awud. The ta'awud is when you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. All right, we discussed that in detail. So now, today's class, we're going to be discussing the basmalah. All right, and the basmalah is when you say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, so the first thing we have is the basmalah is what's called an ism. What is an ism? We have, well, let me tell you who's in the house. We have our esteemed Ustad, the Faqih of South Jersey, by way of Burlington County. Our brother Abdul Mujib, Saleh Abdul Mujib, he's in the audience today with us. If we could, we will give him a round of applause, but we ain't gonna give him a round of applause. What is an ism?
It's a name.
A name or a noun?
Or a noun.
Okay. An ism is a name or a noun. All right. It's a name or a noun. Okay. So, and does anybody familiar with the 2 schools of Arabic grammar? There's 2 schools that that they rely on in Arabic grammar. Anybody know? Abdul Majid. You have the Basriyin and the Kufiyin. Okay, where are these places located?
Basra, Kufa.
So this is the people of Basra, and this is in Kufa. Where is these places located? What modern day country?
Kufa would be in Iraq.
Yeah.
And Basra would be in Yemen.
No, both of them are in Iraq.
Both of them, yeah, Iraq.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
All right.
Brain fart.
Okay. Okay, another quick trivia question. What was the name of Iraq before it's called Iraq? Anybody? That's trivia.
Oh, Persia.
That was Iran.
It was Iran. Forgive me.
That's a research trivia thing, all right? So, but back to the class. that the Basriyin were the linguists of Basra and Kufa, and they had distinct approaches of how they really went through the language. So the Basra school, they used to concentrate on philosophy and logic, right? And meaning that they would try to extract those deep philosophical and rational meanings out of the Arabic language. And the Kufiyin, they used to concentrate on the Qur'an, Hadith, and also poetry, Arabic poetry. So when we're talking about getting the deeper meanings of words, right? When we're trying to understand the meanings of the word of the Qur'an, you first you go to the Qur'an itself, you go to the Hadith, the Kufiyin, and then when those meanings weren't clear, they will go to Arabic poetry, all right? And the Basrans, they used to it's not that they didn't not use these, but they would look at the language and the meanings of the Qur'an and use a philosophical and a logical approach of how to extract those deep meanings out of the Qur'an, all right? And this is important because what we know today is Arabic grammar, all right? When you're taking an Arabic course and you know an ism, a fi'l, and all of this stuff, and the richness of the Arabic language, all of this information was oral. All of this information was oral, all right? And it wasn't until the time during the Khilafah of Imam Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, rahimahullah, that the Arabic grammar was written down as a structure, right? So this is the richness of the Arabic language, that the Arabs, they knew this language, right? This is their language, and they used to pass down some of these things orally, right? So a lot of the stuff that it wasn't documented. Okay, so ism, everybody got this? So ism also, another meaning of ism is that it is a word that points to a being or a concept. So an ism in Arabic is a word that points to a being or a concept. All right. So we mentioned in this concept of ism because we're going to get into the basmalah, which is an ism. All right. All right. So what does the basmalah mean? What is the basmalah?
Name of Allah.
No. What is the basmalah? What is it? When you say the basmalah, what is it?
The whole thing there. Bismillah ar-Rahman
Yeah,
ar-Rahim.
the basmalah is when you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That's called the basmalah. All right. This is called the basmalah. All right. Everybody got all this? All right. So it's important to know these two schools of Arabic grammar, the Basriyin and Kufiyin. All right. You know these differences, and y'all gonna have to find this out. The people who are watching online, you can put in the comment section under the video, or you can email me or text me. One brother, alhamdulillah, he texted me with the stuff that I asked for, what he needs to know. But if he's watching, you're not gonna be excused. You still need to know that on the test. Don't think because you sent me the information that you're free and clear. Nah. All right. So, all right. Everybody got this? All right. So now, when we start with the basmalah, we start with Bismillah, all right? So Bismillah, really you're saying be Ismillah, in the name of Allah, all right? So we're going to get to that in a minute. All right, so in the Basmalah, the ism is this, this is a noun, and the name, and the first thing we talk about is Allah. What is the meaning of Allah? What does Allah mean? Huh? You worship Him?
The sustainer, the creator, sustainer.
Yeah, that's something like that. But there's a specific term that I'm looking for when Allah. Because Allah really really means literally the God. Right? And of course, that's understood to mean God Almighty.
حقيقة.
Huh?
حقيقة.
Yeah, hakikatan, right? In reality. All right. So, there's a certain phrase that I'm looking for that we've had this in class before. Anybody want to take a stab at it? Okay. Okay. The meaning of Allah is a phrase that's called Lafdul Jalala. Have you heard this phrase before? Lafdul Jalala, which means the utterance of majesty. The utterance of majesty. Meaning that Allah, the name Allah is a special name that is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It can't be used in any other way. And there's no other implied meaning when you say Allah except that you mean in the Lord of everything in existence. Alright?
Can you write Lafdul Jalala in Arabic? Okay.
Lafdul Jalala. Lafdul Jalalati. Alright, so it is the utter. Laf means to utter something. Alright? And just a quick note, when you something that's love, when you utter something, it has to have a meaning to it. Like when you learn a language, one of the early rules that you learn that kalam is lafdun murakabun mufidun bil wadi. Anybody know what that means? That speech is lafdun, is an utterance, meaning that something has to come out of your mouth, but it has to make sense. Like if I said to you, that's a laf. It's an utterance, but it has no meaning. Right? So lafdun, it has to be murakab, something has to be put together and repeated. Then something has to be mufid. The language, when you have language, has to be something that's useful and beneficial, and then the other part has to be bil wadi, meaning that it has to be put in its proper place. Alright, so when there's etiquettes, even when you have to learn how to speak, when we learn English, you know, you just can't, basically you can't talk like Yoda. You know how Yoda would talk backwards and stuff? That's not murakab, that's not mufid. It's not words that are put in the proper place. So kalam has a science to it, the speech of how you talk, how you put words in the proper place. Why a noun becomes before a verb, or why in a verbal sentence it has three parts. All of that stuff, that's not what we're talking about today. But a laf is an utterance. So Allah's name is Lafdul Jalal, the utterance of majesty. So this is why when you say Allah's name, Allah, Allah, you have to put the ha on that. Allah. Alright, this is Allah's greatest name actually. Alright. So Allah means is a proper noun. Alright. Because this alif lam and Allah means the, definite. Alright, proper noun that refers to the being of the Creator. Refers to the being of the Creator. Alright? And there's only one Creator. You know, that's Allah. Alright? And Allah is the only one who was given this name, and it isn't applied to any other than Him. Alright? And no one shares His name with Him. Alright? So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just His name alone is something that is majestical. Alright? The way you pronounce it, the way it is written, and the way that it is unique as it's not compared to anything else. Okay. So then we have Imam al-Qurtubi. We mentioned al-Qurtubi in the previous class. As you know, you need to know what year he passed. I'm not going to put it now. Alright. Imam Qurtubi said in his tafsir, he said that Allah, this is the greatest of His names. The greatest of His names and the most comprehensive. So if you don't know any of other Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names, you have to know Allah. Allah. Alright? The most comprehensive No one has ever taken his name. As a quick point, I remember when I was in another kind of institution. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? That there was this guy, this 5%er. He changed his name to Lord Munir Allah. You heard about that? Yeah, he changed his name to Lord Munir Allah. Man, we was about to kill that dude, man. They had to call a meeting, you know, and the chaplain had to talk to the warden, and all they had to go through a big thing. They ended up moving him. He said it's not safe because he legally changed his name to Lord Munir Allah. So Allah is not a name that you can use. You just can't. I don't care what kind of rights they give you. That's laftul jalala. That is for Allah who subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. All right. Yeah. And it's no one has ever taken his name. It has no dual. It's one of the features of this name. It has no dual or plural. It is the name of the true existing being. And this name has with it all the attributes of Godhood. Alright? So that means that Allah's name is so majestic and so special, so unique, that all of the attributes that are associated with Allah are what make him unique. Meaning that these attributes that Allah has that he describes for himself, that no one else can share with these attributes. Alright? And those attributes are what make Allah, they make Allah Allah, right? So, for instance, he is the creator, right? And, you know, he is al-Khaliq, meaning he creates something from nothing, without a model, without a precedence, and without a need. Assalamu alaikum. And he does so without a need. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he creates everything that he put into existence without any kind of need. How do we as humans, we create things or we invent things or we discover things? Why? Why do we do it? There's a need for it. There's a time that came forward that this had to develop and there was a need for it. So, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to create everything he created without a need to do so, and there's no need for him to benefit from it. Right? All right, so all the elements of Godhood. So how this relates to, you know, even people, and this relates to Tawheed, because when we say Allah, it is understood we're talking about Allah who subhanahu wa ta'ala, the unseen, the one who has no form, he has no shape, he has no color, he has no gender, there's nothing like him, he's not bound by time and space, time doesn't pass over him, he doesn't age or anything like that. So anything that would have the name of Allah, they would have to have all those special attributes, and they're not going to have them. And then there, as we're going to discover in our other class, that there are 13 attributes, necessary attributes that make Allah Allah. For instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is Qiyamahu bi nafsihi, that he is existing in and of himself. He is meaning he exists independent of anything. Because everything that exists has some kind of need to exist. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists without any need, without any assistance. All right? Because none of us could exist unless we need water, we need oxygen, we need to use the bathroom, and anything that exists is confined to time and space, meaning that it's going to age, it's going to deteriorate, it's going to show signs of wear and tear, anything like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is absolutely unlike any of that in his essence, in his that. All right? So we got all that? Am I going too fast or are we? All right. So what you need to know about Allah, that his name, this term I really need you to know. Lafdul Jalala, all right? The utterance of majesty. And what does Allah mean? The God, the being of the creator, and the one who he has no dual, no plural, he's the true existing being, and he has attributes of Godhood that he doesn't share with anybody. Attributes of Godhood that are not shared with anybody, all right? So those attributes that make Allah who He is, that no one has any kind of share in that. All right, is that clear? All right. Okay, so now we're working on the basmalah, which is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You good? All right. So now we have Alright, so then we have the two names in the basmalah. Okay, we already discussed Allah. Alright. Now we have Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Okay, so what is the meaning of Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim? They're both derived from the same word. Derived from the word Rahma. Ar-Rahma. Al-Rahma. And what is the meaning of Al-Rahma? What is the meaning of Al-Rahma? It means mercy, alright? But here the Shaykh gives another comprehensive meaning. Or it means, let me write this down, tenderness in the heart that necessitates Ihsan. What is Ihsan? Alright? It is tenderness in the meaning of Rahmah is tenderness in the heart that necessitates al-Ihsan. What is al-Ihsan?
The consciousness or
No, al-Ihsan means to do something well, to do something with perfection, goodness. Alright? So an example of Rahmah is a mother's concern. Is a mother's concern for her children. Because what is a mother's concern for her children? She sacrifices everything she has. She loses sleep. She tends to his very being. She has to wake up with the baby and she has to cry with him and, she has to nurture them and do all of these kind of things, right? So that kind of tenderness that a mother has for his child that's, just unconditional, that is an example of what Rahmah means. And that kind of Rahmah is what these two words, Ar-Rahman and Rahim, are extracted from that word, all right? Okay, and there's another meaning of Ar-Rahmah is the will to do. Al-Ihsan. All right. So now, when we talk about this Rahmah, and we discuss about the meaning of it is like, example, the mother who has mercy for her child, which gives a meaning. This meaning, you don't want to apply it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because Allah is al-mukhalafa lil-hawadith, all right? He is completely different from events, meaning he is dissimilar to things that happen, all right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is opposite of the things that occur in that event, meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not subjected to him doing something, not doing something based on an event or an occurrence. You understand that? Mm-hmm. All right. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does what he wills, and whatever takes place in the creation has no bearing on what he does. All right. That's what that means. So we're getting to that attribute. All right. So we don't want to, we don't want to compare Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attributes, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, to a mother having mercy to a baby, because that's part of the creation. It's just giving us an example of how we can understand these names with respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright, and one of the things about these attributes, even though we gave an example, is that it was the example of the Salaf that some of these attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they would leave some of these attributes, and not knowing the reality of them or not delving into what they really mean, because it can get problematic. So, they understood Arabic language and they knew what some of these attributes that we're going to discuss in another session. All right. So they understood Rahmah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to mean al-Ihsan. So that's what we want to get out of that. The Rahmah, from these meaning al-Rahman Rahim, it means Ihsan. Because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy and His benevolence, that what He extends to us as mercy, it prompts us to want to do goodness. It prompts us to want to do al-Ihsan. It prompts us to want to perfect ourselves because of the tremendous mercy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us all time and time and time again. Alright? So for here you want to know al-Rahman and Rahim, they derive from the word Rahmah. This meaning of Rahmah, mercy, gives an idea of a mother having tenderness in her heart, or that wants her to make her do well. That is kind of the meaning that we can get from it. But al-Rahmah means for Allah, meaning al-Ihsan. Alright? Alright, everybody got that? Okay. So the next thing, now although al-Rahman and al-Rahim come from the word al-Rahmah, do they have the same meaning?
No.
Do they have the same meaning?
No.
Okay, so there are 4 positions concerning the meanings, all right? 4 positions of the meanings. The meanings of al-Rahman, we put that over here. I'm sorry, my writing is off today. 4 positions of the meanings of al-Rahman. Because they come from the same word, they're kind of similar, but they got different meanings. And al-Rahim. All right. So the first one for al-Rahman, it is blessings given to all creation. All right. So the meaning of al-Rahman, everything in creation experiences that Rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And al-Rahim is specifically for the believers. Alright, second one. Al-Rahman is huge blessings. That are given. Huge blessings are given, and al-Rahim is blessings that are given that people overlook. Just think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, He said He created you sam'a wal absara wal af'ida. And He says that He created you with hearing, sighting, intellect, little things that you give. That is an example of the blessing of Rahim. But al-Rahman means huge blessings given. When you're given an abundance of blessings, huge blessings, you recognize it right away. But how about the blessings, like for instance, the Prophet ﷺ said, there are 2 things that people take for granted. He said health and free time. Health and free time. Blessings because, Allah creates people as He wills, but how many people you know on the whole they're created and they're not healthy? There's very few cases where a person is not born and, where they just created healthy, all right? The third one is the same meaning for both. So these are different positions to give you understanding. Same meaning. And the al-Rahim just has emphasis. Alright, so this is what emphasis is called takhsis. meaning that one of the views or the positions that they both mean the same thing, but this one just has more emphasis than Ar-Rahman. All right, and then the fourth position is that they don't have the same meaning. They don't have the same meaning. And they just have different perspectives. Just different perspectives. All right. So what that's basically saying is that all of these things, how they analyze it and went into the deeper meanings of these words in the basmalah, is that, you know, there's different perspectives because they come from the same word, but they actually do have different meanings, but then they kind of correlate with each other. All right? Perspective. All right. Okay, you got all that? So these are four positions. Ar-Rahman means somebody's given a blessing that's given to all the creation. So a person that's an atheist, a disbeliever, whatever, they all get some of the Rahman from Allah. Ar-Rahim is specifically for the believers. And the second one is huge blessings of giving. And the second blessing that people overlook, that they don't pay attention to. The third one is that they both have the same meaning, and Ar-Rahim is just emphasis. And the fourth one is they don't have the same meaning, but they just are different perspectives of the different same word. All right. All right. So you got all that? All right. So now another perspective. So just look at all of this that we're getting now. Remember, this is the class we're supposed to be talking about al-Fatihah. Mm-hmm. We're just on the basmalah. Right. All right, and we still got a few more notes to go. Yeah, this is deep, man. You start getting into these meanings, you know. So you understand now, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and he's reciting these verses to them, to the Sahaba, and they're digesting them, and they know what he explained to them and what they understood, and they know all of the things about Arabic language. This is how you find out why they would be reciting a salat and nothing else would matter to them. Where you read reports about them standing still because they're in awe of what they recite, because they knew what it meant. You know? They knew what it meant. You know, they're in awe just about the basmalah. Alright? So alright, so the second we'll get some more intel on the basmalah, or these two names in the basmalah. All right, so the difference. So this is a view about the difference between the two. Okay, and Ar-Rahman is the one who has tremendous mercy. Mercy that is full, excessive, and profuse. So this is a comprehensive meaning of what Ar-Rahman is. Allah is Ar-Rahman, that He is the one who has tremendous mercy. His mercy is full, it is excessive, and it is profuse. And an example of that is in Surah Al-A'raf, ayah 150. Anybody have a Qur'an available? I think that's the ayah that says, my mercy overpowers my wrath. Alright? I don't know that surah offhand. Okay. Now, here's a gem. That Ar-Rahman in Arabic, right? It's called Ar-Rahman. Now, when you study Arabic, you study the verb patterns and how the words are patterned gives it a meaning. So Ar-Rahman is on the pattern of fa'alan. Alright. So when a word is patterned, they use these three words, fa'ala, right? And then they show all the different derivatives of a word from a three-letter root, right? So when the word is patterned like this, alright? Like for instance, when you have fa'ala, that means it's a past tense. When a word is patterned on fa'alan, like Rahman, hit a rhyme, fa'alan, Rahman, alright? When a word is patterned like this, it carries the meaning to be full, excessive, and profuse, alright? So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said He is Al-Rahman, the meaning that His mercy He extends to you is tremendous. It is mercy, it is full, it is excessive, it is profuse, it's more than what you can handle. And He gives it to you just by the nature of His being. Just by the nature of who He is and what He wants you to know about Him, He is Al-Rahman. So if you make the connection, this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces Himself to you in the Qur'an. In the name of Allah, Allah who? Ar-Rahman. He could have used any name. He introduced Himself as Ar-Rahman. He wants you to know that He is the one who has this kind of mercy for you to show you who He is. Alright? And then, so in Ar-Rahim, is the one who has perpetual mercy. What does the meaning of perpetual?
Continues on and on and on and on.
Uh-huh.
Gets momentum and builds up.
So, although we mentioned in the previous notes that these words are similar and they come from the same word, and some of the positions that they're the same, they have no difference, they actually have, when you get deeper, they have a way significant difference. So, Ar-Rahim is the one who has perpetual mercy. And this word is built on fa'il. Fa'il, alright, Ar-Rahim. Rahim fa'il. And that means the meaning of permanence. When the word is built on this fa'il, it means that it's permanent. Permanence.
Perpetual permanence.
It's perpetual mercy that it's in stone that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has this kind of mercy that is perpetual and is permanent. Now, fa'ilu. Fa'ilun. Alright? When y'all start learning Arabic, you'll see that all of the words in Arabic language are built on patterns.
Right.
Alright? And then those patterns reflect meanings.
Right.
Alright? So when a word like this, and usually words like this are words that are descriptions, sifat. Like for instance, my name is Fahim. It is on this pattern, Fa'il. Meaning that this is what my attribute is, understanding, intelligent. If a person, his name is Jamil, or Khalil, who is one is what does your name mean? A friend, right?
Yeah.
A companion, intimate. This is who you are. That's permanent. Meaning you will always be a close friend to somebody.
Okay.
That's who you are.
Okay.
So that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Rahim. That's who He is. His name, just by the meaning in Arabic, the form, is permanence. But it means perpetual mercy. It's non-stop. It don't end. It's just continuous. Alright. So now, you got all that? So now you understand what these words mean by themselves, right? Is it clear? Alright. So now, look at these are all secrets of just the basmalah. Now you put the words together. Alright, because you see them individually, they have deep meanings. Then you put them together in the basmalah, and you put Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. When you put this together, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and it means the one who has tremendous and perpetual mercy, all right, so the one who has tremendous and perpetual mercy. Now, if you think about this for a minute, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have put Al-Rahim first. And Al-Rahim is specific to who?
To the whole world.
No, Al-Rahman is mercy
to the
to
believers.
everything in
To
creation.
the believers.
Al-Rahim is specific to the believers. Now, of course, we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favors the believers. He could have introduced this first, but no. He let his mercy encompasses everything. He wanted his mercy to encompass everything. So sometimes we have to, we might have to basically get in line for Allah's mercy as believers. Because it's something that can be at the end, and it can be something that's stored up in the akhirah. That's where you want it. That's where you want it. So remember, Al-Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is Al-Mudabbir. He is controlling everything affair in all parts of creation. But He also knows what we need individually. And He put mercy, when He put this creation in motion, He put this attribute of Al-Rahman. Everything receives Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mercy. An example of what we understand mercy is tenderness in the heart that makes you want to do good, or the example of a mother tending to her child. Like when the mothers take care of her baby, nothing else matters. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala extends His mercy to the creation, that's, and Al-Rahman is tremendous, is full, is excessive, that's all they need. And think about in our own lives, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was merciful to us. We didn't need nothing else. We didn't need nothing else. So the one who always has, always, the one who always, I didn't put always, who always, Da'iman. So these two names together, Ar-Rahman and Rahim, the one who always has tremendous and perpetual mercy. Alright? And Al-Rahman, we mentioned, is general. Everybody gets some of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. And Al-Rahim is specific for the believers. So, and as a believer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reserved some of His mercy specifically for us, but we also get a part of Al-Rahman. We also get that mercy that everybody else gets. So this is why the believer should never fret, should never worry, should never stress, should never, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by design of the words that He put in the Arabic language, He set us up real nice. He set us up real nice. Okay. Now, here's another benefit of the basmalah, and this one is just for Al-Rahman. You ready? Am I boring y'all or what?
No.
All right. So more on the basmalah. All right. So Al-Rahman is an attribute of Allah's, His that. Al-Rahman. Is an attribute of Allah's that, His essence. His that. His essence, meaning His being. And so His attribute of Al-Rahman is the same whether there is an object or not. So what that means is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is Ar-Rahman. This is an attribute of His that, of His essence. Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, this Ar-Rahman, it doesn't change. Allah doesn't need someone to be merciful to, or a situation to be merciful to, for him to be Al-Rahman. That's who he is. That's part of his that, his essence. And we mentioned that this is one of those attributes that are exclusive to him. All right, and this is the only attribute that is used as a proper noun in place of Allah's name. Okay, what does that mean? All right, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whenever he has a pronoun or a name in place of his name, Allah, he uses Al-Rahman, no other attribute. All right, so when you read the Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wa ibadul Rahman. Well, he could have said, if you replace it with his name, he could have said, Wa ibadullah, and the servants of Allah. He replaced it with Wa ibadul Rahman. This attribute is the only attribute that he uses in the place of his name, Allah. All right? Because he could have said, Wa ibadu al-Malik, the servants of the king. He didn't say that. That's how special his name, Al-Rahman, is. So it goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the main characteristic? This is part of his that, his essence, his being. What is the main characteristic that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to know about? He wants us to know about him? That he's what?
Merciful.
How merciful?
Extremely.
Tremendously,
Tremendous.
excessively,
Right.
full, profusely. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of all the worlds, wants us to know about him, that he is Al-Rahman. Alright? So an example of this is in Surah Isra, ayat 110. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you'll see a number of things. All right. Okay. All right. We'll stop there, inshallah. We'll stop there. Okay, we'll stop there, and then next week we'll finish up with some more of the secrets of the basmalah. All right, and the status of the basmalah. All right. Any questions? That was a lot, right? And we still ain't finished the basmalah.
Went
Huh?
to the hospital last
Yeah.
so I left my notebook.
Yeah, mashallah. All right, so we'll finish up there. There's no questions, inshallah. We'll conclude. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.